Dr. Duffour granted an interview to TV3, and he sort of appeared to have stepped on the pedal a little bit. I'm not too sure about the questions and all that, but you can see the interview. We went through a lot to decide whether this is worthy of publication. My editor thought, are you sure, boss? Are you sure? Then Kweku, my producer, thought, are you sure we can use this? I said, well, it's a bit uncharacteristic, but I blame the guy who was asking the question. I think he should have guided the interview to the figures that Dr. Duffour was looking for. Because Dr. Duffour kept referring to figures, and the guy is not, I don't know, but anyway. All right. He looked like a nice guy. The journalist looks like a very handsome man. I like him. But I think he should have done something else in this interview. Here's Dr. Duffour talking and stepping on the pedal a little bit. The interview is 1 minute, 40 seconds long.
Expresses a vote of no confidence in his ability to run the economy.
I'm not saying so. The records are there. You are given. Look at the records from 2009 to 2016. Don't you have the figures? The figures speak for themselves, not me. Do you understand? I cannot pass a vote of no confidence in him. The figures will speak for themselves.
The figures we know were terrible.
So what are you asking me? The figures were terrible. Then the figures are telling you that there was a failure somewhere. Should I talk about that?
We ran the twin deficits in 2013 after the 2012 elections. We saw inflation spiral. We went through the doomsday period, which obviously may not have been his fault, but he managed to resolve it before going out of power.
I'm talking about the figures on the ground. I'm not talking about his personality. Who was in charge? If you're happy with the figures, then you ask, oh, who was in charge? Oh, he did a good job. If the figures are so bad, who was in charge?
Do you think he did a good job as president?
Look at the figures yourself.
Do you think he did a good job as president?
Look at the figures and speak to the figures.
So I look at the figures and they do not look too impressive.
So why do you ask me that question?
So in your view, did he impress you as president?
Are you happy with the figures yourself?
They don't look good on paper.
So why ask me that question?
One of the other contestants, it's Kojo Bonsu,
yes.
mayor of Kumasi.
Yes.
He also wants to stand against John Mahama.
He wants to, not he also.
He wants to.
This language is a very difficult thing. He also.
I retract that. He wants to contest against John Mahama.
Yeah.
Why don't you all just throw your weight behind him?
Why? How many people are contested in the NPP? How many people? How many?
Well, currently...
And how many people contested in the NDC flag race contest in 2018, 2019? How many? Were not here in the country? How many?
How do you respond to those who say
how many?
Age may not be on your side?
No. How many? I'll be asking for a medical report, yours and mine, for you to tell me who is healthier. That's right. Understand?
You mean you're very fit?
Bring your medical report, let you bring mine.
You mean me?
Yes, even you. Even you. Even you. Let them bring your medical report, let them bring mine, and let doctors comment who is healthier.
You can go the full haul, 8 years of presidency, and you will turn things around.
Do you read the Bible?
I do read the Bible.
Do. When God, if you believe in the Bible, when God decided to rescue the Hebrews from Egypt, he did not pick someone like you. He took an 80-year-old person, knowing that they were going to walk on the desert for 40 years. There were younger people like you. Why did God not choose one of them, but went outside? Moses, who had run away and was staying outside, he brought him back at 80 years to lead the people. Why did
the popular view out there when you talk to the African youth on the street is that we've for long mortgaged our future, to older politicians who have not served as well. The Nigerians will tell you about Buhari. The Ghanaians today will tell you about Nana Akufo-Addo and the fact that he's not... You've seen the latest EIU report, for instance.
No. You see, people should do proper analysis. Professor Mills left office. He died when he was about 69. Do you know that? His deputy, vice, was His Excellency John Mahama. He was about 52. 69, 52. Look at the performance of the two people, John Mahama and Professor Mills. It's not age.
What is your verdict
but
then?
Competence and integrity.
What is your verdict then?
My verdict? The figures are there for you to speak on.
You're saying that we should compare John Mahama's 4 years to Atta Mills's 4 years and compare their ages?
You are talking about age. I'm saying that it's not the age that matters in governance and management. It's the character and experience. You understand? You may be 90, but you don't have the character.
Sounded like a heavy laden interview, isn't it? Moses bringing the Israelites out of Egypt at age 80 when they were younger people there. Have you heard that? The Duffour was heavy. He says that Professor Mills's administration was better than John Mahama's administration. He says that the figures of Professor Mills indicate. I'm not so sure about the filming and the production of that. We're taking a decision on that, but it's okay. At least you got the content, and that's what we wanted to share with you. Because Dr. Duffour's people don't want to speak to us on Good Evening Ghana. They say after the Congress, So we are waiting. It's not easy for us to get interviews. They say we do touchscreen too much. Okay, so this is Dr. Duffour's son, though. Elsewhere in Sechara Farm Place.
People of Sechara Farm Plains have been crying for me for a long time. It's been 12 years of hunger since we created the constituency, 12 years of hardship, 12 years of visionless leadership, and it's time for one of their own to lead them. Sechara Farm Plains, we need an MP who can mobilize resources and make things move. We don't need an MP who's going to sit in Parliament and wait for the salary to come in. You need a businessman who can take risk, who can make things happen. That's what we need. The constituency is so far behind in terms of development that we don't need a business as usual MP. You need someone who's passionate about the constituency, who feels for the people. They say I'm alien. I was there since 2012. We have teak plantations in the constituency. There's a factory there. We've employed people. We've employed delegates. We've employed the people at Sechara Farm Plains. How can I be an alien? There are people who were not even present during the 2020 election. They never campaigned for the party. They didn't get involved in activities. All of a sudden, they're in the register. But we'll leave that to God. God is the ultimate judge. My number is number 2, and it's a divine selection because I'm Commander for the second.